Hello and welcome back to Senior Balance Live, where I'm joined once again with the lovely Andrew Davies from Davies Estate Planning. And today we're going to be talking about something that actually is a real interesting subject for me, and that's lasting power of attorneys. So Andrew, welcome. Let's go straight in, right? Lasting power of attorney. Obviously I know what that is, but tell our listeners, what is a lasting power of attorney?
Lasting power of attorney gives your attorneys the power to look after your affairs, and that might be financial or it might be health.
And this is genuinely around someone who has lost cognitive care of their own control or something like that, isn't it?
Well, that's the starting point. Let's start with health and welfare.
Yeah.
That does come into force on loss of capacity.
Yeah.
Property and financial affairs, that can also come into force on loss of mental capacity, but also, and most people do this, it can come into force as soon as it is registered with the Office of the Public Guardian.
Okay.
And that will enable your attorneys to look after your affairs while you have capacity, but the transactions concerned may be actually too taxing for you.
Yeah.
And then you can just say to your attorneys, look, I want to do this, go ahead and do it for me. During this time, this is very important. During this time, the donor has full control. They have capacity, they are making decisions, their attorneys are merely carrying them out for them.
That's interesting. That's the bit I didn't know, actually, because I've always put this down to someone who is now out of that control, who hasn't got the. And the funny thing is, like, people think that this is like, when they talk about lasting power of attorneys, they talk about like mental capacity, but they also talk about Alzheimer's, dementia, but they never talk about what happens in the case of a car accident.
Yeah.
You know, you have a nasty car accident and you're left in hospital, God forbid, in a coma.
Yeah.
You could be coming out of a coma, your business and your livelihood and everything is gone.
Yes, that's right. The classic case is Michael Schumacher. Went out skiing, fell over and banged his head.
Absolutely. Really good example. And I think he's still in coma, isn't he?
I think he is.
You know, so, you know, this is how quickly it can happen. But it's not you as well. It's the people that are around you, those people that are independent, that are dependent on you.
Yeah.
And that's why this is so important to have something in place.
Lasting power of attorney is arguably even more important to put in place than your will.
Okay.
Because the will is a fallback with the intestacy rules.
Yeah.
The lasting power of attorney, there isn't. And what your nearest and dearest have to do if you lose capacity is to apply to the Court of Protection and be made a deputy.
Yeah, but this could take months.
9 months, a year maybe.
Yeah.
And during this time, if you've lost capacity, you're in care, care fees have to be paid, but the person who's in care can't pay them because they've lost capacity. They don't have access to their bank account. So who pays? The family.
Wow. So this is why it's so important. Yeah. So the process of lasting power of attorney, how does that work?
Well, it's it's a consultation process as there is with the will, and I sit down with the clients and I talk about what the different powers do, and also we talk about other things like how the attorneys can act. There are broadly three ways. Attorneys can act jointly, they can act jointly and severally, or they can act jointly for some things and jointly and severally for others.
Okay.
Jointly means that all the attorneys have to sign whatever document it is to give it force. That is inflexible. And the problem with that is if one of the attorneys is off on holiday, for example, they're not there to sign. So the whole process is stopped until they return.
Yeah.
Also, if one of the attorneys loses capacity, for example, you haven't got a lasting power of attorney anymore.
Wow.
So generally, people will say jointly and severally.
Yeah.
When it's done jointly and severally, only one attorney needs to act.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what we've done actually.
Yeah, you probably have.
Yeah. because we've got other people that are involved because obviously our business, so we've had to think about that.
And you've probably got a separate LPA for your business, I guess.
We kind of, because obviously as we are growing, and this is the thing, right? And this is the thing when we're talking about LPAs and all aspects of journeys, is there's a lot of people involved in our lives, just whether we're just an individual or whether we run a business or whether we run, there's a lot of people. You're the epicenter of a whole universe, and I think this is what people fail to remember, and it's why I like doing stuff like this, because it reminds them that there's not just the children, there's the parents, the grandparents, the cousins, the aunties, but then also you've got your business, your clients, your customers, your debtors, the people you owe money to. So there's lots of aspects that you have to think about, isn't there?
Yeah, there are. And the thing to also remember is a lasting power of attorney is a very, very powerful document.
Yeah.
Because it's giving your attorneys power over your affairs.
Yeah.
And the important thing here is to ensure that you choose attorneys you can trust to look after your affairs in the way you would want them to.
Yeah, that's the risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because literally, like, bank accounts can get frozen if you haven't got these things in place.
That's right.
And whilst people are trying to salvage your business and salvage your bills, and you could have lost it all in that time period because they don't recognise it as this is the situation they've just demanded. I'm going to ask you a question actually around like LPAs, and actually going back, just talking quick about wills. What are we looking like on cost on things like lasting power of attorney?
Lasting power of attorney, as I say, they come in two forms: health and welfare, property and financial affairs. If you have a couple, for example, they will want to do both. So all four I would do for £495.
Yeah.
On top of that, you've got a registration fee to pay to the Office of the Public Guardian.
Yeah, that's.
And that is £82 per document.
Yeah.
For those on low incomes, if your gross income is less than £12,000 a year, for example, then that fee is reduced to £41. And if you're in receipt of certain state benefits, then the fee is waived.
So this is the thing; it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It's not. You're not talking thousands of pounds to get your estate in order, but it is an important thing to do.
It's a very important document to have.
The next subject we're going to talk about on the next show is trusts, which is another massive subject actually. When it comes to the estate and the management and planning. So, Andrew, it's been absolutely brilliant. I love learning. I love finding this out. If someone is thinking about, actually, maybe I need to think about a lasting power of attorney because of my circumstances, how can they get hold of you?
They can email me, they can telephone me, go through the website, or go through See No Bounds.
What a perfect answer. And until next time, we will see you again soon. Take care. Goodbye.